Gaming is going to get a lot more expensive going forward. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been confirmed to cost $80 to $100 for one game. And also consoles are now going to cost about $1,000 plus. I mean, this is the new normal, guys. I don't know what to tell you. There are many factors involved here. I think part of it is these companies have been losing money for so long that they're going to try to juice the remaining customers they have for as much as they have. See also the comic book industry, right? You keep raising the cover price. You know you don't have as many readers, but you raise the cover price. You do variant covers. You do blind bags. That's how you get more money out of the pay pigs you have left. A lot of people are turning their backs on AAA games. A lot of people are holding off on buying that new console. Now, the Ramageddon situation, that absolutely does play into this because the components cost more, RAM costs more. But I think even if that were not the case, I think this is a convenient excuse for these companies to start jacking their prices up because they know that their user base is going to dwindle. Again, AAA games are not selling what they used to. So when you have a big title like Grand Theft Auto 6, you have to juice people for as much as you can juice them for. When you've got a new console coming out, not everybody can afford it. Not everybody's interested in it. Well, you know the diehards, they're going to line up with their $1,200 or whatever. You got to juice them. So I don't know what the breaking point is here. I don't know if people we're going to hit a ceiling and people are going to be like, yeah, I'm just not buying any new games. I'm done. But Grand Theft Auto 6, unless it's a complete turkey, is going to sell like gangbusters. I mean, there's no arguing that. And this is a game, in their case, this is a game that will probably have long-term value for the player. People are probably going to be playing it 10 years from now, if I had to guess, unless they screw it up and are like, well, if you want to continue playing your $100 game, you're going to have to pay us an additional $20 a month from now until the end of time. If they don't do that, they'll be okay. Rockstar will be okay. They'll be selling copies of Grand Theft Auto 6 and DLC 5-10 years from now, right? The console situation is interesting because we're seeing the gap between video game consoles and gaming PCs basically narrow to nothing. And the Steam Machine is a console and a gaming PC that you can't upgrade, starting at $1,049, going up to like $1,500. And I think that's going to happen with the PlayStation 6. Whenever that comes out, and I think it's going to happen with if they actually have the balls to bring a new Xbox out, if they're going to do it, it's going to be the same thing. So this is the new normal. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, if you'd like more Clownfish TV, go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more podcasts and episodes you will not find here on YouTube. And if you'd like to listen to us, make sure you don't miss any episodes. Go out to Spotify, go out to iTunes, go out to iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Look for Clownfish TV podcasts, and you will find us there. So thank you very much for that. Before we get into the articles, let's go out to this Reddit thread. Our video games. It's confirmed GTA 6 will cost $80. Now a bunch of crappy companies with their mediocre games are going to try to follow suit, and they're going to screw themselves because nobody will buy it. I agree with this 100%. They're going to set the tone by selling and it's going to sell really well. I'm not denying that. They're going to sell GTA 6 for $80 to $100, and people are going to buy it in droves. And then all these other greedy AAA companies that have games that frankly aren't as good, I'm looking at you, Ubisoft, they're all going to be like, oh, $80. That's what we're going to charge for games now because we're spending $200 to $300 million on some of these turkeys, and they're trying to recoup their money. The first reply says, if you're buying a game at full price, that's your choice. Otherwise, wait for a sale. There's certainly a shit ton of games to play. This person says, with no physical release, at the very least for months, Rockstar eliminated the used market. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. With no physical release for the first few months, Rockstar eliminated the used market. There will not be a sale for probably a year. I'm predicting they might throw us 33% off Bone on Black Friday 2027. If the game sells really well, there's no incentive to mark it down. That's how you know how a game is selling. Like you could, like we knew some of these Ubisoft games were not selling well because they were going on sale almost immediately. So that's what I'm saying. The used market for the most hyped game of the decade just got nuked. probably be a year and a half before we even see a 20% discount. They're going to force you. This is what I think the end game is for a lot of these companies, again, to recoup their costs. They're going to force you to buy a digital copy at full price, or even a slightly discounted price, because they don't have the manufacturing costs. They don't have to split with the retailer. They get to pocket almost all that money except for their, Steam fees or whatever it is. So let's look at this. This comes from WCCF. GTA 6's $80 price tag doesn't set a new AAA games price floor, but it does widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots, says analyst. I think right now you can't be a broke-ass gamer. I think, and at least keep up with the new consoles. I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to see more of a demand for indie Steam titles. I think we're going to see more of a demand for retro consoles. We're already seeing that, but I think that demand is going to increase because people are tired of it. They're like, I'm not buying a $1,200 console and $100 games that are probably not finished when they ship. Forget that. Back in November 2025, we got the information drop. Everyone was waiting for the release date for GTA 6. It came packaged as a delay announcement, and there was technically no guarantee it would stick, but it has, well, supposedly. I would love if, like, the day before, they're like, sorry, guys, it's going to be another 6 months. $80 for the standard edition, $100 for the ultimate edition. Calm fears that the barrier to entry for GTA 6 would start at $100, but now those same fears turn toward the rest of the video game industry. Mario Kart World was technically the game that broke the $70 seal, but as we've seen since its release, even Nintendo isn't trying to charge that much for all of its first-party titles. That could at least be partly why veteran analyst, author at Super Juiced Playlist, and games professor, they have a games professor at NYU's Stern School of Business, Joost van Drunen, told Reuters that the new standard for AAA games isn't going to automatically jump to $80. GTA 6 doesn't lift all prices, but widens the gap between the haves and the have-nots. He added that any players scared off by its $80 price tag amounts to a rounding error against the anticipation. People will pay that, but they're not going to pay $80 for everything. Not when there's a $10 Steam game that might give them more bang for the buck, right? But then you have to wade through all the Steam stuff. Everyone and their mother seems to agree that GTA 6 will be the biggest entertainment release of all time so far. It's predicted to sell 45 million copies almost immediately. Damn, times $80 to $100. Do the math on that. And after more than a decade and an entire console generation of waiting, players will largely not be turned away from a new GTA game because it costs $10 more than other AAA games they might be buying this year. Hey, just to put it in perspective, and I'm not defending this, but when I was a kid, I mowed a lot of lawns to buy Phantasy Star 2. Which is my first JRPG, and I freaking, to this day, I still love that game so much. I love that game. But it was $70 in 1991 money or whatever, whenever it was I bought it. Right? So that game would be like $130, $140 now, I think. But I bought it. I loved it. I played the crap out of it. But I did kind of feel ripped off because I beat the game because it had the tip guide with it. And it honestly, that game, you cannot beat Phantasy Star 2 without some kind of a map for the dungeons. Dungeons at the end of the game are freaking ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it in a game since. But I did beat it in like 2 weeks, I think. And I'm like, that's it. That's $70. I mowed lawns for like 3 months for this, but I went back and played it again, right? To Van Drunen's point, they said not every game is going to be capable of throwing its weight around to charge $80. Some games might try it, but that'll lead to publishers and developers finding out quickly which games players think are actually worth that extra $10 and which games fall short. It'll be interesting to see what 2027's lineup of AAA games does in the wake of however many copies GTA 6 actually does sell. It'd be interesting if people just bought that and just played that and didn't play anything else. See also Fortnite. Actually, these live service games are destroying the video game industry in that regard because you can play the same game forever, theoretically. This person says, I think, this is in the comments. This person says, I think sales of GTA 6 are going to be underwhelming for many reasons. The sales forecasts are high. The game will sell great, but not meet the forecasts. I don't know. A lot of people want that. They might be scared off by the price, though. The world has changed. While woke is not in it as much as it was, the opposite is also true. The violent and mean-spirited tone of GTA is not as acceptable as it once was. So GTA 6 will find itself stuck between these two opposite ends of the spectrum. For GTA 6 to be as successful as they predict, it needs to be mainstream. Really? I don't know. I don't know about that. 5 is still one of the most popular games. You can put hundreds and hundreds of hours into GTA. Games should cost 5 times the price of 007 First Light. Are people really gonna push for that? Because the next thing is gonna be like, oh, this is a Nintendo game, and Nintendo is a very special company that loves its players so much. So Nintendo can charge 3 times as much for stuff because Nintendo's the best company out there, and they love their people. They love everybody, and if they're suing you, it's a good thing. Nintendo is suing you, and this is 10 reasons why it's a good thing. Slater says most games aren't worth $60, so I don't know what they're smoking. Any Rockstar game could charge $100, and I'd pay without checking reviews. Everyone else thinking their slop is worth more than 60 or 40 can go F themselves. Yes, there are exceptions, but most slop games are not it. Made by clowns who only work to put bread on the table. Where is the heart, you fake nerds? I don't know. Rockstar's they really want to put bread on the table. They want to put some gourmet bread on the table. They're all about the money. But I mean, if the game's good, the game's good, right? The full game's 100. Anyone who says otherwise is coping. That's actually true. What you're getting is a stripped down version, I think, of the game for $80. The actual game, because they knew there was pushback, but the full experience is going to be the Ultimate Edition, I think. It's going to be GTA 5. Yeah, people are just fighting over how good. I don't understand this whole thing with video game console war shit. Again, I'm old enough to remember, Super Nintendo versus Genesis, PlayStation versus N64 and GameCube. I'm old enough to remember all this. Xbox, the Xbox stands, we went through that whole thing. I don't understand why people have so much of their identity tied up in a video game console that they themselves do not produce. Like, if you like the console, great. If you like the game, great. But why is this like your entire personality? Like, you feel like you have to jump into the comment section of every article that's even remotely critical of your beloved company, but it's not your company. It's like insulting somebody's sports team or something. It's like, it's not your company. It's a corporation. They're trying to make money. And sometimes they put out good stuff and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they make good decisions and sometimes they make piss poor ones. I'm looking at you, Nintendo, specifically. I just don't understand the mindset of it. I really don't. So this is the new normal too. This is coming from Video Games Chronicle. Support us in a very big banner. They must be hurting. North of $1,000 is the floor. Analysts debate whether Steam Machine means PS6 and Xbox Helix will cost $1,000 plus. They will. 100%. The company has conceded this, Valve. The company has conceded that the price is significantly more than it wanted to charge, but says it reflects the price of the components as we've secured them over the past 6 months. This continued rise in component costs has also seen Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo all announce price increases for their consoles. Yeah, it's insane how much consoles cost now. The only thing analysts can't agree on is whether Sony or Microsoft will step beyond the 3-figure territory and charge $1,000 or more for their new console. They absolutely will. If they want to keep up, they absolutely will. Speaking to GamesIndustry.biz, here's Joost von Drunen again, said it is certain, warning at this rate, the next generation may not even release until 2028. And when it does, north of $1,000 is the floor. Even existing devices are getting marked up. That's true. Apple just announced a price hike today. So they raised all their stuff like $100. It's unavoidable at this point, unless there's a massive AI bubble burst, which I think is coming. But here's the thing about bubble bursts and crises. Again, you will learn this as you live longer. Corporations use any crisis to justify price hikes or scammy business practices, but then they never walk it back when the crisis has abated. If they mark up all of their prices $100, $200, blame the AI boom, and then the AI industry goes bust for some reason, the bubble bursts, it shrinks. I don't think it's ever going to go away, but it's going to shrink, I think, at some point because it's not sustainable. They're not going to walk those prices back. They're not going to be like, oh my God, guys, OpenAI just went out of business, so now we're going to drop the price of the PS5 to $199.99. And you get a free pack-in game. They're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. Just, this happens with gas too all the time. The gas prices have to go up because we're in a war, everything going on in the Middle East. Oh, we had a hurricane. Oh, we had this. Oh, we had that. How much are these suckers willing to pay? Oh, they won't pay over $5.50 a gallon. Okay, take it down to $4.95 a gallon. Okay, and if we're starting to slow up, oh, hey, the crisis is abated. Okay, $4.75 a gallon. You're never going to go back down to the $3 a gallon or whatever it was before the crisis. So just so you know, like this is the floor. $1,000 games, game consoles, that's the floor. $80 to $100 games, 100%. Right now, again, I've talked about this before, is the perfect time, and I think Sega's talking about releasing a handheld or something. Right now is the perfect time for somebody to come along and release an old school couch play console that has better graphics, maybe PS3, PS4 level graphics or whatever, but it's mostly offline. You own your games, they're on a cartridge completely. It's not like Nintendo where, 10% of the game's on a chip. It's like you own your game, you plug it in, you play it, you sit the couch. They're not going to charge you a $30 a month fee to sit and play games with your friend. Could you imagine if they did that back in the 80s and 90s? Like, hey, you're going to have a sleepover. Oh, all your friends from school are coming over. How many kids are there? I was like 5 or 6 kids. Okay, cool. Every one of those kids. Yeah. If you want to play Street Fighter, you got to pay $30 to play Street Fighter. I know that this kid paid $60 to buy Street Fighter. It might be $70. I don't remember. It was expensive because of Street Fighter, right? It's like GTA6. But yeah, so your buddy bought this game. He's got 2 controllers. Every kid that wants to hop on that controller has to pay $30. You have to have a subscription to like Nintendo Online or some dumb shit like that. And that's what they're doing now. Just come up with a couch play device. Great offline, self-contained, finished games. Online optional if you want to play games online. That's great. Somebody's got to do it, but there's not enough profit in it. It's the same reason we don't see arcades now. People are like, where are the arcades? We need to bring back arcades. Well, I had an arcade for 5 years. And I can tell you, as an arcade owner and as somebody who talked to other arcade owners, if you're not selling food, if you're not selling beer, if you're not bringing money in from somewhere else, you're not going to stay in business very long because the demand's just not there. It's not super profitable. Right? It's not like people are addicted to pumping quarters in arcade machines like they used to be, because anymore, most arcades, it's like a free play model and you got to be selling something else. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So I think it would be like kind of a niche thing. And I know there's the Evercade. I know a lot of people jump in here and say, well, we've got Evercade. I'm like, yeah, but it's like 16-bit. I'm talking like PS3, PS4 level graphics. Even now, though, that thing would probably cost $500 or $600. Given the chip shortage. But yeah, now's a great time for somebody to jump in and just kind of bring gaming back to where it used to be and come up with a viable business model if you can, and just sell mostly physical copies of games. I think a lot of people would line up to buy that. I'm just saying. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.